Welcome to the show. This is The Force Always. My name is Diz, aka David Zammit. Let's get on with the show, with the news, the views, the reviews, and the interviews. Making news today is another great release in the last 24 hours of a fan film, Beggars Canyon. It's now the third part to this fan film AI amazing adventure. You can check it out. It's called The Search. It's Beggars Canyon, The Search for Luke Skywalker, or The Luke for Skywalker. The third installment came on board today on YouTube. It's amazing. Now, I'm not going to review this because I've reviewed this a couple of times and I think consistency is good. Yet this is sort of like a bit of a filler, but at the same time, still captivating. Anyway, so that has a bit of news. Now, listen, stay tuned to this channel because soon I will be talking a bit more about Star Wars Celebration in LA. You know, the things you can do, things you can't do, and just giving you advice. So I've been to 3 Star Wars celebrations, and it's quite it's quite a hard-working but fun, exciting event. I will give you some updates with Star Wars Celebration as well coming up, so stay tuned for that. But that is the news for this time around. Let's get into the views. Views is my story idea where I tell you a story that I'd like to tell you, and I accept the story for what it is from the start to finish. I accept it. Anyway, the story today I have is connecting to the Beggars Canyon. Now, in this particular episode, we had a particular famous actor created as AI, sort of very similar to the Han Solo type of character. Obviously, was a buddy to Han Solo in the actual storyline in this particular episode of Beggars Canyon, The Search for Luke Skywalker, or The Search for Skywalker. Should we have celebrity status to tell the story in Star Wars? Now, my only big qualm to Starfighter that's coming out. Not that I'm against Ryan Gosling. I like Ryan Gosling. I think he's great. He was great in Barbie. He was great in The Fall Guy. He's great. And he's probably going to be great in that Hail Mary coming out very shortly, which has got me more excited to see it as well. And I will be doing a review on that film too on this channel. But I think the whole understanding that Star Wars, not because of, giving homage to George Lucas, yes and no, but it's more that Star Wars works because it's so grand and so juicy. It works better without celebrity status. I just don't think you need celebrity to tell the story. That is my story idea. I don't think you need it, but Ryan Gosling is, still looking okay for the part. It's just my only qualm that I'm a bit a bit up and down about. But let's just see. Star Wars is really built on unknown actors. There was a couple of knowns back in the day in 77, but it essentially is the unknown. Anyway, that's my story idea for this time around. Let's get into reviews. Reviews is going to be something interesting. Actually, again, from Beggars Canyon, The Search for Luke Skywalker, or The Search for Skywalker, whatever you want to call it. There was a spaceship, a Star Cruiser, whatever you want to call it, in this particular episode, flown by the Han Solo type of guy. I don't even know his name. This spaceship, this Star Cruiser, is a 10 out of 10. Here it is, 10 out of 10. Unbelievable. This is the type of Star Cruiser that I wish had more of, something really fun and interesting. Like the last time I had this type of feeling about a Star Cruiser or a spaceship was way back, can you believe, in Empire Strikes Back days. We saw the snow speeders. They were great. Now, after that, everything sort of, was not like, oh, wow. Millennium was wow, but very unusual, but wow. And yes, this Star Cruiser has a very Millennium Falcon feel, but it's like an updated sort of futuristic, but youth future look. It's got Star Wars written all about it. You could sort of say it's a bit Star Trek-y maybe, but I think it's absolutely great. 10 out of 10. Unbelievable. Anyway, let's get into interviews. Interviews is usually my questions I get on the channel in the last particular video. And the last particular video is up. We've got questions by Michael from Werribee South. That is the only time I'm going to say it. These next questions are by Michael from Werribee South. That's it. But if you want to send your questions in, trivia, or whatever it is, send them in to me. See what I can do. Not Mr. Trivia, but I'll give it a shot. Anyway, what he is saying, The Handmaiden Chronicles, a spy thriller focusing on Sabay and the other handmaidens as they use their decoy training to sabotage the early empire in Padme's name. I think that's just a comment. It just seems like it's a comment. I'm going to take it as a comment. The next question maybe is the Palpatine connection. To what extent did Palpatine manipulate her rise to power at age 14 to ensure he had a pliable queen on Naboo? Well, what he is talking about is Queen Amidala or Padme. Now, I think Palpatine's manipulation started very early on and very secretive and very widespread. Of course, what extent Palpatine's manipulation, her rise to power at the age, he just had control in a mindful manner across the board. That's what he had. So that's, he was Mr. Manipulator. The next question, the survival of the Senator. If Padme had survived childbirth and Mustafar, how would she have led the Rebel Alliance from the shadows while hiding Luke and Leia from Vader? I just think she would have been another version of Leia, strong, stern, and just active and passionate. That's what I think. It's only what I think, but that's what I think. There's the answer. Next and final question, the Jedi path. What if Padme had been discovered by the Jedi as a child? Would her political brilliance have made her a master negotiator for the Order? And how would that change her relationship with Anakin? I don't think it would have changed much with Anakin. She was still always very active in, helping Anakin politically, lovingly, whatever it is. But, I think if the Jedi discovered her as a child, I don't think there would have been much difference. The Jedi had a real certain way of thinking and nothing could change that. And that was probably a part of their downfall. They really sort of got stuck in their ways and then, lost to the Sith, as we know, as the story has been said, especially in Revenge of the Sith, Episode 3. That are the questions for this time around. Please subscribe to the channel. The Force Always. I'm here 3 or 4 times a week with the Star Wars news, views, reviews, and interviews of all sorts. And until next time, my friends, keep rocking.